And of course, we do want to thank you guys for watching. Senator Phillips, Patrick Sullivan, we're here in the booth. Nick Miller's over in the sideboard. At SCG Tour, hashtag SCGATL all weekend long on the Twitter sphere. Shiho is going to start off with an Ether Hub. Use that energy to play in a tune with Ether, and then we'll get 2 energy back. Now he's just got to figure out what he wants to search up. How do you feel about energy as a mechanic? Have you enjoyed that?
I think that it's a mechanic that's a fine thing to do in a set. I think it plays okay. The bigger concern that I have is that it's very parasitic. It's not the easiest thing to go back to, and over time it doesn't age all that well because it only interacts with the cards that appear in the same file with it.
Okay, that makes sense. But it is something you can't go back to, which is kind of cool if we ever go back to
Kaladesh. I suppose you can go back, but
a forest from Shiho, he'll just pass the turn.
The same criticisms that exist of Splice and Arcane. It only works with the cards that call it out specifically.
Here's Tormenting Voice, discarding, yes, the Advanced Ditchwing. 2 cards here for Zackh. Shiho will draw. Looks like he picked up a copy of Dynavolt Tower. Another hub here for Shiho. He'll go up to 3 energy. And now he'll use a little bit of energy to play a Rogue Refiner and draw a card. Back over to Zackh. Voss will go. He'll draw. Picked up a copy of Wandering Fumarole. Here's a Cathartic Reunion. Zack's going to have to discard 2 cards. Looks like a couple of lands he's going to discard now. He'll draw 3. Might be Fumarole, the land that closes out the turn. It is. And we'll go back over to Shiho. Shiho will draw. Picked up a forest. Very quick attack is going to bring Voss down to 17. Another hub will bring him up to 5 energy. And does he have a Marvel to play? Looks like he has a Glimmer of Genius to play.
Marvel seems like an easy play here. Once it's on the table, Voss's deck can't really interact with it.
Shiho will just pass for now. Back over to Zackh we go. Sanctum of Ugin is the land. And he'll just pass. Shiho going to try to resolve a Glimmer of Genius. Has used an energy to do so. Going to fall down to 4 energy. Resolves. We're going up to 6. Scratch 2.
I'm surprised that Shiho did not take that opportunity to just resolve the Marvel the last turn.
If he has one in hand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To believe he did.
I think he does, yeah. I mean, he certainly gave his turn a lot of thought about what he wanted to do before doing it. He's found 2 cards here. Now he's going to untap. 6 energy here for Shiho. Now he'll draw yet again. You see a Harness Lightning in his hand. Copy of Anticipate now in hand. He is playing 4 of those. I think we might see in a tune here. That's where he'll start his turn. Basic Island is what he's found. In for 3. That part's pretty easy. An island. I might be surprised if he casts Marvel in this open mana, but, well, surprised I am.
He kind of has to do something because otherwise next turn, this turn, Voss would just get back the Scab, and then he's untapping. You're not ahead on the board. You gotta cast your spells here when Voss's deck plays so well at instant speed.
There is Reduce. I'm hoping at some point we'll see the Rubble end.
Yeah, haven't had it happen yet, but you know what? With Yim tapped out, this is the time.
Yeah. Those hubs would be a juicy target. See what Voss wants to do. He's going to start with the Blood Rage Brawler. That'll make him discard.
Oh, you got it. It's Rubble time. If not now, then when?
Voss has a copy of Wretched Griff in hand. Haven't seen that one for a long time in Standard.
Yeah, just a one of.
Yes. Yes.
Boom.
We are in Barney.
Just go ahead and rub you down. There's so many good Rubble jokes. I gotta get back into some competitive Magic. I'm gonna go ahead and.
Oh, that's great. Rub you down.
Just rub it all over.
Yeah.
All over your hubs.
Dynavolt Tower is in. Gonna use some energy to take down the Blood Rage Brawler. In for 3 comes the Refiner. Didn't really stop Shihoy too much that turn.
No. Still had a fine turn.
Yep.
I can appreciate Voss's perspective of, well, if the payoff in his deck is Aetherworks Marvel, flashing back the Rubble here makes sure he can't cast that, and what else can he do with his turn? Dynavolt Tower, about the worst case scenario there from Voss.
Yep. See what Zackh can put together here now, what I believe is his 6th turn of the game. Oh, boring, just passing. We need some action here, Zackh Voss. Chihuahua might just be looking to kill you with beatdowns plus Dynavolt Tower. Something we do not see very much from the Teamer Aetherworks Marvel deck.
Really hard to believe that your Rogue Refiner is going to go to the distance against a red deck.
Yeah. I'm not buying it. But what she failed to take into account is there's a 2nd Rogue Refiner on the way. And 2 might be able to get it done. Copy of Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot, Harness, Lightning in hand. Some good cards here for Chihuahua. All built around the energy mechanic. These will start with an attack for 3. Voss will take the 3. He's down to 8. Chihuahua Yim over halfway home with that life total. See what comes next here for the 2-time Invitational top 8 competitor. He'll go to Rogue Refiner. That's in. Up to 5 energy and drawing a card. There's a land. Picked up a copy of Glimmer of Genius off of the Rogue Refiner. That's cards on cards on cards. Energy on energy on energy. Kozilek's Return. Looking to kill these creatures. That'll work just fine. Voss is going to get back Stitchwing Scab. Do a little bit of discarding. While Zackh is tapped out, we might see Chihuahua try to resolve a Glimmer, or he might just fire off the Dynavolt Tower. He's not sure which way he wants to go about killing the Scab. Because he also has Harness Lightning as well. But he'll say, all right, I'll use the Dynavolt Tower on the battlefield. I'm out of energy, pass the turn back. We'll head back over to Zackh Voss now. Ah, yes. Reduce to Rubble the draw.
It's so good the first time.
I am not sold on Rubble.
I mean, it's just there. No one's forced to do it. It's not like you put that card in his deck. It's just there.
I am not sold on Rubble. Reduce? Sure. We can have a conversation.
Yeah, but if you're in the market for reduced, you get the Rubble for free.
It's literally free. You're right.
It's not like he has artifacts in his deck. It's not like it's competing with Metallic Rebuke or anything like that. He's in the market for that card.
That's true. That's true. I'm surprised Metallic Rebuke has not been better.
So was Rubble good there? No.
No.
But was it sweet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was sweet.
Yeah. Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot. Some life and some energy on the way here for Chihuahua. Energy, not hard for Chihuahua to come by.
I'm still trying to figure out what this blue-red deck does.
It's
my second time watching it, and I have yet to have the moment of, oh yeah, there it is. It's just been then discarding 2 live spells to get back a random flyer. Not have enough resources to turn on a Wandering Fumarole.
I haven't been impressed with what I've seen.
Yeah. It's not been great so far.
Advanced Stitchwing is back. Not even saying it's bad. Zack's 5-1. We watched Kevin win with it. We're trying to figure out what's the combo.
What's the thing?
Yeah. Here's Anticipate. Up to 5 energy. Because I think Chihoi knows what's going on with this deck. Because right now, he's making his moves when Zackh has discarded some cards, and now he's going to Harness Lightning that. And Chihoi is basically saying, like, you don't ever get to Deep Fiend me in a way that you like.
Right.
Is what's happening here. Because Zack's last card in his hand is an Elder Deep Fiend. And that's kind of nonsense.
Back up.
Oh, yeah. Chihoi could not kill that. He can only take 1. Zackh can't flip it. The Wandering Fumarole. Hey, coast is clear now. You want to marvel, you can marvel. 3. I forgot I was watching Chihoi. He's super patient.
Yeah.
No sudden moves. There's a hub. He's got a Whirler Virtuoso.
This looks good too.
And Glimmer while the opponent is tapped out. It's got plenty of energy. It's got Dynavolt Tower with a lot of ammo. It's 13 energy. It's got a Scry 2. 1 on top, 1 on bottom. Peel 2. And you see Chihoi's hand. 2 anticipates 2 lands. So no Marvel just yet for your player on the right. And for Zackh, he'll draw a Cathartic Reunion. Well, nah.
Get that whole, car in the snowbank struggling to,
He needs it.
Yeah.
He needs a tow. He needs a tow.
Yeah, he decided to go walk to the gas station instead.
He needs a tow. He's having a little trouble getting the engine going. Chihoi won't let him, and Zackh is going to concede the game. So Chihoi Yim's going to win game number 1 here over Zackh Voss. Team Aetherworks. I'd say relatively quickly up a game here over Blue-Red Emerge. Still looking to see what the Blue-Red Emerge deck, what's its thing? What's it do?
Kids these days. I just don't know.
I'm waiting for the big payoff.
Yeah. Can you explain to me what is going on here?
Doing a lot of work to put your own cards in the graveyard.
Yeah. And they don't have flashback. They don't have madness. They're just cards.
They're just cards.
The best thing you have to discard. They don't even have Fiery Temper in the deck.
Take a look at the sideboard.
Yeah, let's do that.
4 Fevered Visions.
Okay.
3 Drakehaven. Good with the discard your card strategy.
Yeah.
3 Magma Spray. 2 Hazoret the Fervent. 2 Disallow and an Ahiri's Wrath. What do you like, assuming you like anything?
I like the Fevered Visions. Chihoi's deck not the best at getting cards out of its hand. And the 2 copies of Disallow. Some counter spells, Aetherworks, Marvel, all that.
All right. For Chihoi, 3 Negate, 3 Tireless Tracker, 2 Dispel, and of course all the one-ofs. Torrential Gearhulk, Worldbreaker, Dissenter's Deliverance, a card we're going to see a lot of, I think. A Kozilek's Return of Ceremonious Rejection, a Baral's Expertise, and a Jace, Unraveler of Secrets.
I think the negates are solid in this matchup. They're very good against the Cathartic Reunions of the world, as that's additional cost. And I think the Baral's Expertise could be very good here as well, because Voss has to go through great pains to get his cards onto the battlefield in the first place. So a mass bounce spell like that, I think, is great.
Those are your options. And we'll see how the players, sideboard, and we'll see Zackh Voss on the play. And I just, look, we got to even see Rubble that time, and you're not happy.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm happy that it happened.
Okay.
I'm just confused. I'm perplexed, and it could be me. I'm not saying that it's anyone else's problem. It could be mine, but I have no idea what this deck is up to, and what are the incentives for playing it. I have no idea.
Elder Deep Fiend's a good card.
Elder Deep Fiend is a good card.
Yeah.
There are a lot of cards in Magic that synergize with Elder Deep Fiend. Creatures of all sorts.
That's true.
All of them, actually. Just any of them
any
really
creature works
in a way, you know. So I just don't know.
Well, we'll find out here in game number 2 in just a moment. But while these players do shuffle up, yesterday was a busy day on the StarCityGames.com social media and debuting some things, up to and including our newest member of the Creature Collection coming out during our pre-release Playmats program at the Hour of Devastation pre-release. It's Owl of Devastation.
Say hello to the newest member of the StarCityGames.com pre-release exclusive Creature Collection, Owl of Devastation. Illustrated by fan favorite Andrea Radak, this disastrous Strix is ready to devastate pre-releases this July. Want this limited edition playmat at your pre-release? Have your local game store contact StarCityGames.com by May 15th to get signed up today. For more information, visit go.starcitygames.com/pre-release and learn how to unleash your endgame with Owl of Devastation.
So some days, everybody has a tough day at work.
Totally.
It happens. Some more than others. Some days I'm working from home for Star City and I'm just having a tough go of it. Not in the mood, just need a day off, whatever. And sometimes I just think to myself, you know what, I don't know if I can do this anymore. And then I realize that we make things like Owl of Devastation, and it's like, what am I even complaining about?
Right.
What am I even upset about? Look at that playmat. And that thing's sweet and people are pumped up about it. So, you know what, on the balance, pretty good.
Yep.
Pretty good. Go to StarCityGames.com/pre-release for more information. I burst into laughter when I first saw that. I just thought it was great.
It is awfully dramatic.
Yes. A really big owl, really, really mad.
Yep.
Really destroying all those things on the, what is that, a beach?
A cave? Cavern?
Might be some sort of cavern. It's just getting ugly out there for those other animals. Zackh is going to scry. Not a deck that I think mulligans particularly well.
I don't know how that could be true. All the deck does is mulligan. Like, if the deck doesn't mulligan well, then what's going on here?
It's got to start with 7.
Because all the deck does is throw spells into its graveyard. I have not seen. His just works so hard. You know they make a lot of 3/4 flyers. Like Magic there's no shortage of 3/4 flyers.
It's true.
You don't have to work this to put one in your graveyard and then discard 2 cards. Like, you don't need to do all that.
But you can. And he has been the great success thus far. Our first discard party. There goes Tormenting Voice.
That's game.
Yep.
All right.
He's discarded a couple flyers, 3 cards on the way.
Some lands to flash them back. And we'll see if Voss can, if these 3/4 flyers for 3 mana and all of his cards are going to be good enough.
Chihoya will draw. On the surface, I like the plan. Prize Amalgam in hand.
All right, there you go. Now we're cooking. That's a real thing.
Part of the strategy.
That's legitimate.
Let it rip. Discard. Advanced Stitchwing. And Prize Amalgam. There will be a trigger.
My goodness.
Yeah.
we are doing it now.
See if Chihoya will have some sort of response.
Yeah, it looks like Harness Lightning in hand.
He will use that. He's going to fall down to 2 energy, and the Amalgam is back on the battlefield. Untap and draw. Fevered Visions in for 3.
Now, Visions, you can talk me into that.
Didn't take much.
There you go.
All right. He'll draw a card. Seems like they have to start that card to me because they have no cards in their hand.
I guess the other side of it is other decks are going to use leftover resources a lot better than you are.
It's very bad against Mardu vehicles.
That's another thing.
Very bad. And they get their cards out of their hand pretty easily. Chihoya will have to draw, and I think even take some damage here potentially from the Fever Visions, as Zackh Voss will draw a card.
Now I think Voss is in very solid shape. Got the Fever Visions going, has a Disallow in hand, another some creatures in the graveyard to get back if he doesn't have to use his mana on anything.
Here's Anticipate. Totally fine. Chihoy will look at the top couple of cards. Ulamogam on them. 2 cards go to the bottom here for Yim. Zackh gets to draw off his Fevered Visions, and now Chihoy will draw. Three mana. Rogue Refiner.
Can't imagine you fight over this when you're trying to work your opponent under a Fevered Visions.
Yeah, you can have as many cards as you want. Gruul Turf. Got to work the hard way. It's not actually Gruul Turf, it's Game Trail.
Yeah.
We'll get back a flyer. All right. Dispel the draw. Kozilek's return to the graveyard.
Now, the Dispel might end up being a big draw here for Chihoy, as it's a way to punch through Aetherworks Marvel through the Disallow.
Mm-hmm. There's Harness Lightning. At this point, Chihoy just has to cast his spells.
Just needs to buy a little bit of time.
Yeah.
He's at 10. This is a tough way to do it. You know Voss is going to get it right back, but you got to keep your life total high enough. Give yourself the opportunity to set up Aetherworks Marvel.
Advanced Stitchwing down, Prized Amalgam down. It is about buying time, as you did mention. Voss will draw a card from the Fevered Visions. Yim will draw for turn. Drew an Ulamog. Not exactly what the doctor ordered. There's a Spirebelf Canal that enters the battlefield tapped. And Voss, will he activate one of those creatures from the graveyard at the end of Yim's second main phase so he can get back the Amalgam? The answer is yes. See if Chihoy has a way to kill his 3/4 here. A weird situation here for everybody involved.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Chihoy is looking at Brawl's expertise right now.
A little surprised to see that in the deck.
No, I like it as a sideboard plan. Like I said, I think Voss goes through so many hoops to get creatures on the battlefield in the first place that it will buy a lot of time.
Now remember, this was at the end of Chihoy's second main phase, so that means he gets priority back in his main phase. He gets to cast Brawl's expertise, but he has no free spell to play off of it. Wow.
Yeah, it looks like Chihoy has gone pretty deep into the counter spells here, and it wouldn't surprise me for game number 3 if he at least got rid of the Dispels. The Negate I like because it's fighting a counter war and it's an answer to Fever Visions, but his hand's getting jammed up here. And once Voss has his graveyard set up, he doesn't need to cast any more spells to be able to fight.
He can just keep presenting these bonehead flyers over and over and over again. We've also drawn from Fever Visions, a couple copies of Elder Deep Fiend in hand now for Zackh. Now we got a better idea of what his deck does.
Yep.
Starting to make a little more sense, and Chihoy's dead. So Zackh Voss is going to win game number 2 against Chihoy Yim. Blue-red emerge actually does what it's supposed to do. I guess it hasn't emerged yet. I guess we haven't seen that. Either way, we're all tied up here between Voss and Yim. There we go. Get those sideboards back out there. Now what do we do? What do we do for Chihoy?
Probably get away from his copies of Dispel, I would imagine. Keeping the negates. That's probably about it. Maybe you want a World Breaker or a Torrential Gear Hulk just to be a little bit more proactive. I guess the World Breaker makes sense.
I think the World Breaker's okay.
Yeah, World Breaker makes sense.
I think World Breaker. Reach matters.
Gets rid of you can get rid of a troublesome permanent. I think World Breaker seems solid.
Every time I see Drakehaven, I just want to put it in.
I think this matchup is. I think if Chihoy was a normal, 3 or 4 color control deck, that would be one thing. But since he can win the game in a split second with an Aetherworks Marvel, you don't necessarily have that kind of time.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, these players will sideboard up here for game number 3 of the shuffle, and we'll have Chihoy on the play. He's an Aetherworks Marvel deck, which generates a lot of energy, which means we got to talk about Jacob Ball and his energy token. He won this for winning our Atlanta Invitational at the end of 2016. So congratulations to our defending Invitational champion. Couple ways to go about getting this. Remember, we got another Invitational coming up here at the end of June, so we're going to have a new token soon. But for Jacob Ball and his energy token, here's how you go about getting it.
Well, I think the easiest way, just head out to the SCG Tour, and if you sign up for an Open or a Classic, you get this token for free. If you can't make it out, any order placed from StarCityGames.com, $5 or greater, will be shipped with this token.
Congratulations to our reigning and defending Invitational champion, Jacob Ball, here this weekend. I'm sure we'll see him on camera at some point, probably playing with his own energy reserve token as we get ready here for game number 3.
I got 2 Jacob Ball tokens.
How'd you get those?
My order got combined. I made 2 separate orders.
Okay.
One of which was with 15 copies of Foil Ristic Cave on
Ristic
sale,
Cave.
which I believe was about $11 or $12. And then 3 near mint copies of Alpha Power Sync, which I believe was something like 60. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I will cut you off right
Yes.
there and ask you why you wouldn't.
Yep. I don't know why I asked such a stupid question.
Yep.
I was just, it's been a minute since we've been here together in the booth, so I forgot that.
Because it's sweet and I have impeccable taste. That's why. that's why I got him.
He's humble too. That's good. That's good. Spire Bluff Canals here from Zackh. We're going to head back over to Chihoy, who started off with an energy reserve. He's got 2 energy over there because of the attune with Ether.
Oh, please negate this. Negate.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, please. Oh. Oh, well.
Please negate this. You are a very mean
I just
human.
want to see, you know,
max punishment.
the range.
Yeah. Here's Anticipate from Chihoy.
Discard Stitchwing Scab and Reduce to Rubble. Some options for later on.
I will counter that, and you lose the game immediately. An island and a pass. Boy, another
Oh, come. And
He does not have a 3rd land?
yeah,
It's in 6 new oh my. That is brutal. Discard. Well, he's got plenty of cards to discard. So, taking advantage of the discard step. Let's look for a positive instead of focusing on the negative. Marvel. Pass the turn back. Voss. Land 3.
rip the 3rd land to rubble him.
The rubble's in.
Slow it down.
Yeah, the rubble in.
Slow it down a step. Game's being played a little too fast for my taste. Don't mind me. I'd like to tap some of those lands down.
If those don't get to untap, take your hands off those. Couple of scabs and stitch wings down in the graveyard. Fevered Visions. I think this is the way that Zackh actually has to go to kind of get back into this game. So good the last game. Harness Lightning, the draw there from Chihoy. Chihoy with a reaffirming head nod and simply passing the turn back. Chihoy, of course, drawing a card with the Fevered Visions. Takes 2, falls down to 18. Over to Zackh Voss, who will have an island to play.
Yeah, Zackh Voss in this unfortunate, you know, I have Fevered Visions, I miss land drops, and I have to leave up Mana Leak squeeze of drawing a few cards a turn but not being able to cast them.
It's not great. It's not great. Discard.
Yeah, reduce, but it's now been upgraded.
The rubble ends.
Can you guys try to contain those a little bit?
What do we have here? It's a Woodweaver Puzzle Nut.
This feels good enough to counter. 1, I just want Voss to spend his mana, and 2, now the Aetherworks Marvel is
It's
ready
in
to
real
go.
territory.
Ready to go
Yeah.
now. And once this thing starts spinning,
Chihoy going to take 2 more. Will Voss do a little discarding to get one of these creatures on the battlefield? Looks like the answer has just been the question has just been answered. Excuse me. All right. Advanced Ditchwing. Back. Chihoi. Kill it. Maybe. He also just might want the energy. He goes up to 8, down to 4, I believe. Nope, he's not going to kill it. He's going to do this instead. I had a feeling this might happen. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Ooh, Nissa's Renewal is a nice one.
Yeah, it is. That's the one he's going to cast.
Missing some land drops and underneath Fever Visions, that is a nice one to hit here.
Get some life, get some lands. Open yourself up to be able to cast multiple spells a turn.
Yep.
It's a one of in Chihoi's deck, and it's timely.
Not quite Ulamog, but a great hit in the spot. As we mentioned before, it's not like this deck is just Ulamog or bust. If you hit a removal spell, if you hit a Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot, this is renewal off of these cards will be good enough too.
It's very strange based off of how the old Aetherworks Marvel decks were built, but this is a weird value Marvel deck.
Yep.
That's just the easiest way to look at it. It's in here, it can hit Ulamog, but more often than not, it's not going to. But it's going to chain ways to just keep doing it, to keep firing off until you do find Ulamog, and then the game is very likely to end.
Doesn't just have to be show and tell. Temporal Aperture is an easy way to win the game too.
True. That's an oldie but a goodie. Fevered Visions will draw Zackh a card. Chihoi going to take a look at old Rubble.
The window for that card may have passed now, and this is renewal.
Well, perhaps.
As much as it pains me to say.
I know. Ether Hub, the draw.
Hub is a great draw here because you get an energy from that. You get 3 from sacking the Puzzle Knot, 1 from the Marvel trigger. So it's an uncounterable way to have Aetherworks Marvel rolled up for this turn.
And Chihoi's life total also is just so high.
Yeah.
He's in no rush. I don't want to say he's under no pressure because he sort of is, but not in an amount with the Fevered Visions and the Flyer where he needs to really make some sudden moves.
He's also now approaching, I can just cast my Eldrazi territory too.
Getting there.
Yeah, we're getting close, and Chihoi's got a lot of life to play with.
Chihoi going to shift through the cards in his hand, figure out what else he wants to do this turn. A very meticulous player. All right. Draw off of Fevered Visions, take 2, pass the turn back. I think Chihoi may have to discard here. I think he's got 8. Looks like he's going to discard Glimmer of Genius. Now, one thing you can't see in Chihoi's hand, he does have 2 copies, it looks like, of Ulamog. He plays 3 in his main, so he's just got 1 left. And I believe he also has a copy of World Breaker in his hand right now, too. So the hits are not great.
But it doesn't have to be Ulamog. Even Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot is a good hit here.
Looks like in the upkeep here, Chihoi is going to sacrifice Puzzle Knot, go up to 6 energy. And now let it rip. Disallow.
Okay, stifle the trigger here.
Yeah? That's why you kind of want to see those dispels, but this is the thing that can happen. Disallow, one of my favorite new cards. It's not even technically new because it's just Void Slime, but still a card I really like.
It's a nice little bonus to add to cancel.
Yeah. You have to pay for, the stuff, but
Yeah,
it's nice.
you're paying a slight premium for some flexibility.
Here's Cathartic Reunion again. Looks like that'll resolve. Voss will draw 3. He'll play a Wandering Funeral, pass the turn back. Chihoi is going to Glimmer probably. Yes. 1, 2. Anticipate Botanical Sanctum, the cards that Yim is looking at. He'll consult his hand. Bolt to the bottom, 2 mystery cards on the way. Kozilek's Return among those cards. He'll untap. And he will draw. Hub. Up to 3.
And now with the shields down, I'm sure Chihoy is going to have a mighty fine turn for himself here.
Well, he started to pick up the pace a little bit, which, as I mentioned, he's pretty methodical.
Well, also playing, the bob and weave against the counter spells and instant speed play, that's complicated. But once the shields are down, man, he can. No more thinking.
World Breaker is going to take care of the Fevered Visions, and we might see Harness Lightning right now. We do. But Chihoy says, I'm not going to actually use any energy to kill the creature. Instead, I'm going to spin for 6 cards.
Yeah, and I like not killing the creature, one, because you have a World Breaker that has reach and can block. That is probably challenging for Voss to answer. Second, Voss has so many cards in his hand that you're not really going to play the, I'm just going to keep killing your Stitchwing Scab sort of thing. He's got more than enough cards to keep bringing it back. So at this point, I'm looking to just overpower him with Aetherworks Marvel.
Here's a tune, and I love Chihoy selecting this because he has 2 Ulamogs in his hand. He'll get a basic forest. Now, he has already played a land for the turn, so he can't play one again. Played a hub already. So that's in his hand. But that's land number 10, mana number 10 for Ulamog. Looks like another Fever Visions here for Zackh Voss. He'll trigger that and draw a card. No attacks, of course, into the Reacher. And we're going back Chihoy's way. He'll draw. Hub. Number 4. He'll play it. Up to 3 energy. I think it might be an Ulamog party now.
Yep, I mean, even if you get hit with a disallow here on the trigger, who really cares?
Well, do you want to counter the trigger or do you want to counter the card?
I don't
you
think.
choose.
I think Voss is going to struggle to beat either end of this.
Yeah.
Yes. Get the lands.
Yep. Oh, no.
Yes.
This Patrick is back.
Yeah.
It's not quite Wasteland.
Get him back for that rubble.
Yeah. This line, I believe, is going to take care of the cast trigger.
Right.
Now you just got to deal with the 10-10 part. Oh, confident attack with the World Breaker.
I'm not really feeling the attack.
No?
Just hang back on D. I mean, you take a hit here to 19 to 16. I mean, you're probably safe regardless, but just I'm struggling to know when those 5 points are going to matter.
Tough to say. I can see your argument for playing a little defensive. Ulamog does not have reach. I don't know if she has
okay. All right. Well, that would if he thought that the scab didn't fly, that explains the play. It's not good, but it explains it.
It also would stand the reason that Ulamog does have reach. You would think.
It is tall.
Some giant monster alien.
My understanding is Ulamog's pretty tall.
I can't reach this bird. Couple more cards. We're gonna need a string of Elder Deep Fiends here to get out of this situation.
I mean, that is the risk of attacking there.
Yeah.
It's not impossible between a chip shot from a flyer, a Fever Visions trigger, and a timely Elder Deep Fiend that it could go the wrong way.
Oh, ba-boom. There's Deep Fiend. Trigger Sanctum of Vugan. Zackh is going to stack some stuff here. Those are the 4 targets with Elder Deep Fiend. Sanctum of Vugan still in the stack. Elder Deep Fiend is targeting with the cast trigger. Ulamog, World Breaker, Marvel, and a hub. And now the Sanctum of Vugan is going to allow Zackh Voss to search up another Elder Deep Fiend. Chihoy, I believe, has a ceremonious rejection. And Elder Deep Fiend is, it's colorless.
Yes.
So, that's going to go away. But I think the tapping by Deep Fiend is going to resolve. Chihoi is going to count some mana really quickly here because he's looking and saying maybe I want to harness lightning something so I can fire off my my Marvel. Maybe get some more cards out of my hand. Yeah, so he's going to target his own Ulamog. Up to 6. Spin. Yep. Had a feeling. Top 6 picks to click. Rogue Refiner among them. Glimmer of Genius. And he's going to, it looks like take the Rogue Refiner. That's the first card he's moved forward here. Not sure he's interested in the Glimmer, but those are the two options, and he will actually take the Glimmer. So he's back up to 2 energy. Scry 2, draw 2, coming here for Chihoi in just a moment. It's like the most Chihoi deck of all time. It just doesn't do anything. Those are tapped. Chihoi will draw for his turn now. That was on his upkeep. I think we might be going towards the Warrior Virtuoso. Yes. That'll bring along 3 energy up to 5. Could be a Thopter party. Remember, Yim is not playing a land just yet, so he'll play a Spirebluff Canal and just leave some mana available. Over to Zackh Voss, who unfortunately for him at this stage, this is going to get back a creature from the graveyard. It just feels like he's a... Well, Malcolm's going to come back. I'll slow my roll a little bit here. I was going to say, it felt like he was maybe getting outclassed card quality-wise, but I think there's the potential to steal something here.
Yeah, it's not, and that's why the attack from Chihoi a few turns ago with the World Breaker is not a small mistake. I think if Chihoi was at 19 instead of 16 here, he'd feel a lot more comfortable.
Amalgams will come back, and now we're going to have a Kozilek's Return. Kozilek's Return is going to take care of the flyer and to simply pass the turn back. Let's go over to Voss. He'll draw, picked up another copy of Sanctum Movement. So if the plan is to chain these Deep Fiends, he's starting to get himself there a little bit. Chihoi's at 14. There's a block. Now he's at 11. Couple copies of Lightning Axe here for Zackh Voss. Those aren't going to do a ton. But I believe there is some chaining of Deep Fiends to be done. And we can't forget about Wandering Fumarole. That's within those lands as well. So Chihoi is going to be stopped in his upkeep. Zackh Voss would like to make a move, I believe, with an EDF. I think the question he's asking himself is, what am I going to target with this?
Well, also if he does it off the price amalgam, he needs to spend more than 2.
Very true. Zackh Voss working hard to get back in this game. There's Elder Deep Fiend, sacrifice the amalgam. I can respect it. Same thing again. Marvel, Ulamog, World Breaker, and Hub looking to trigger the Sanctum. Gonna work. Another Deep Fiend on the way. I don't think it's impossible for him to win this game.
No, I don't think it's at 0 yet. Be really good for Chihoi if he could get underneath the Fever Visions.
He's having some real problems doing that, and that's a weird thing to say for a player who has so many lands in the battlefield. And he could get a little creative with some of the things he can do. Attune, fail to find, picked another copy of Marvel. But he's got a lot of cards. He does have another Ulamog. That feels like it matters because it's Ulamog. Chihoy going to survey the battlefield, trying to maybe think what's going on here. What went wrong here? Do I need to change what I'm doing to win this game?
Well, I think part of the concern would have to be disallow. If you weren't concerned about that, it would be pretty easy. Or any sort of counter, really. I guess it has to be disallowed because he needs to stop the trigger. And the Voss also has the opportunity to get back something out of his graveyard here if the mana isn't used.
Well, Chihoy says, this is the best thing my deck can do, so I'm casting this. So here's Ulamog. Cast trigger on the stack. We'll see what he wants to target.
Yeah, I like the selection here.
What are the choices?
Fever Visions plus the Prize Amalgam.
Okay.
You cut off the Prize Amalgam for good because it's exiled. The Fever Visions is problematic, and Voss does not have the mana left over right now to be able to emerge through the Prize Amalgam, but could do it through the other Elder Deep Fiend.
Seems like a pretty smart choice. Though.
Yeah, this makes sense to me.
Lightning Axe. Aha! He's going to Lightning Axe his own creature.
The Lightning Axe doesn't do anything else, so.
So Ulamog down. To note that Ulamog dying, because the legendary rule will trigger the Marvel, which means that Chihoy has 6 energy now.
So Voss can get back his 5-mana flyer. Does he have enough mana to get the Fumarole involved, emerge again, and attack for lethal?
I think he might actually just be able to kill him this turn in the end of the second main phase, because he gets back, he spends 2 mana, gets back this one. There should be 2 Amalgams coming back.
Yep.
Biggest creature on the field's Deep Fiend, so consider that blocked. Let's attack for 3/6/9 plus
yeah, I think that's
plus Fumarole.
Yeah.
Draw a card.
Yeah, it's got 11. Yeah, this is 11.
Just Deep Fiend this and just use that to Deep Fiend that. And yeah,
wow.
Just kill you. Wow. Zackh Voss gonna win this match here over Chihoy Yim as not 1, but 2 Ulamogs resolved. And that was not good enough. Maybe this blue-red emerge deck a little better than we think.
Well, the attack with that World Breaker turns earlier ended up pretty costly.
Yes.
The 3 points of damage there. Chihoy's inability to get out from underneath Fever Visions, and then 1 big Alpha Strike. Pretty impressive.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that. What is going on with this deck?
Fever Visions gave him a lot of extra cards to work with. He basically got to spend the whole game with cards not being a bottleneck on being able to get back stuff and get his graveyard synergies going because of Fever Visions.